Alright, so this is Freedom Riders. Trying something new out. As you can tell by my shirt, it says U.S. Army. I won't be uploading anything from voice acting to anything like that. And the reason is because I'm going out to basic training tomorrow. So I figured I'd, give my opinion of what it's like to go to MEPS and maybe give a little bit of information to people who, you see all the videos online, but I've never really found them perfectly interesting or helpful that much. So I figured maybe I can try my best to make a quick video. Sorry for me being quiet. My roommate in the next room, in the hotel room with me, is sleeping. I don't want to wake him up. And so while I talk, I'm going to enjoy the little things before I head up to basic tomorrow and get put on a super strict diet regimen because the Army can be annoying. And so, anyway, so for anyone who's looking at trying to join the military or any branch, I'm going to be using the Army because that's what I've been a part of, and that's what I am a part of. So, anyone who's trying to join the military, the first advice I'd give you is do a little background research. Don't go in head first thinking, okay, I'm going to get this job and do this, this, and this, and this. No, that's not how it's going to work. The first thing you want to do is do a little research, go on the website. If it's for the Army, it's goarmy.com, Air Force is airforce.com, usmarines.com, I think it's for the Marine Corps, I think. Just do things like that. Do your research. Don't just dive in. Once you've done your research and you get a general idea of what you want to do, go to your local recruiting station, talk to a recruiter, just explain the situation you're in, say you're interested and you just want to know what it would be like. So, let's say you've done that. You've gone in, you decided you're going to go into the military, be it the Army. Okay, guys, I'm just going to keep using the Army because that's what I've done. You're going to go into the Army. So, what's next? If you're a high school senior, you'll have to go to MEPS, which is the Military Entrance Processing Station for Orlando. It takes place in Tampa, which is sucky because it's a 2-hour drive. But you'll have to go to Tampa or wherever your MEPS station is. They'll tell you when they go to send you. Once you go to your MEPS station, you'll stay at a hotel overnight. And once you stay at your hotel overnight, you'll have a couple hours to roam around once you get to the hotel and check in and get to your room. You'll have a couple hours to roam around and such to, have some fun. Go out, eat whatever you want. Your family can come and they can spend time with you. It doesn't matter. But after you do that, you'll have to get up at about 4 in the morning and go eat breakfast. Believe it or not. Good ride. Once you eat breakfast, you get all your bags and such. You should only need a pair of clothes and your toiletries for overnight if you're not deploying. If you're shipping out, then you'll need a little bit more. Your crew will give you information for that. Sorry guys. Once you get on the bus probably, or what's your van, usually it's a bus or two, and you'll drive from the hotel to your MEPS station, which will be about 30 minutes. I know for Orlando, for Tampa MEPS, we get up at 4 o'clock and get showered, get dressed, and have to be down by breakfast by no later than 4:30 in the morning. And you have to be there with your roommate, or you don't get to go to the MEPS station. It's a bunch of people. There's over 200 people in here right now. And so you'll have your breakfast, you'll get on, and then we get on a bus, and we leave here at 5:15. It takes about 45 to 30 minutes to get to the MEPS station, so you'll get there around 6 in the morning, probably. Everyone's going to be tired, they're going to be lethargic. Just, believe it or not, the best way to say it is shut up and just get in line. That's the best advice I can give. You're going to get there, they're going to ask, I don't know if they do this at other places, but here in Tampa, they have this little red dot system where if you get marked with a red dot on your name tag, It means you have no medical issues, no law issues, nothing like that. They'll expedite you through the processing. And so, if you're lucky, when you get in, you'll go through medical processing. If it's your first time, you'll get a medical debrief. You'll have to go to your liaison, talk to them about it. Once you talk to your liaison about, the basics, again, I can't go into a lot of details, but you'll figure it out when you get there. You talk to your liaison about it. After you're done talking to them about it, they'll tell you where you need to go. They'll get you your medical file. You'll go to your medical. You'll do your height and weight check, hearing, vision, the basic medical check, just like if you're getting a full physical from a doctor. You get a medical debrief explaining what they expect of you and what you're going to have happen and what's not going to happen, what you need to reveal. You'll get to answer some questions. And then your day will go on like that. You'll just go from test to test. You'll have a doctor do a full physical, and I mean a full physical. Y'all can catch my drift. Doctors are gender specific, of course. And after that, you'll have lunch. Well, we have lunch around 12. And so once we have lunch around 12, we eat. I usually get like a ham sandwich and some chips and a soda. That's it. I mean, it's not a bad lunch. I mean, it's when you ate at 4 in the morning, it's around 12. It's a pretty good lunch. And then from there, if you drove on a shuttle or your recruitment office sent you, you'll more or less just end up waiting for your shuttle driver, and then they'll send you home. But in the case that that's not, or like you drove yourself, for example, like I drove myself multiple times in MEPS. I did this because it was an easier thing to do, and because I don't like waiting for the shuttle driver. And when I did this, they would mark me up on a certain thing on the paperwork when I got into my hotel. And after you were done, you would just sign yourself out and go home. You call your recruiter and say, hey, finished up a MEPS. They don't need any more from me. They want me to come back in a couple weeks. They'll either say, okay, and they'll say, all right, head on home. You'll get in your car and drive home. Easy peasy. Sometimes this is not the case. I'll give you a story about mine. Or if you're shipping, I'll give you a story because I can give you exactly what happened because, I haven't shipped yet, but I'm shipping tomorrow. And so from what I know, from what they told me, is you would, unlike with your normal packing where you would get a pair of clothes, you bring one pair of clothes. So I'm wearing this today and tomorrow. When I get to MEPS tomorrow, I'll do a height and weight check to make sure I'm still within the height and weight limits. Again, this is why I'm not eating the whole entire, brownie. Because it's heavy, and even though I digest real quick, I still don't want to eat a bunch of sweets because I got issues with sweets. So I'm enjoying the little things. So do your height and weight check. They'll take you to your liaison in the operations area, and they'll ask you, all right, has anything changed from last time you came here? You got any tickets? You got married, things like that. Do you have any kids now? And believe it or not, it happens more than you think that people get their girlfriends or wives pregnant right before they leave. So, it's a common thing. I can give a testament to the ticket thing. My last time, right before this current MEPS, I was driving up. It was about 8:39ish at night. I was about 10 or 15 miles from Tampa. Wasn't that far. I had to wait because my best friend, who has a baby, I had to help her out and get her a car seat because I had to get back to her tomorrow to take her to work. So I'm going about maybe 75, 80, which was a little, it was over the speed limit, but not too much. And so I'm in the far left lane, cruise control on my own business, and I seen a Florida Highway Patrol officer get on the ramp, and he gets up next to me and he goes in front of me, and I'm thinking, okay, he's gonna go on his way. And he'd go up and he'd slow down, go up and he'd slow down, and it was a bunch of ridiculousness. And that's 8:39. I'm like, what in the world is this guy doing? He's not making sense. Then he flicked on his lights, so I immediately hit the brake and took off cruise control, slowed down to about 60-ish miles an hour. And so he didn't take off. He just turned off his lights and kept going. So, again, I don't know what he's talking about. I'm thinking, okay, this guy's maybe had an emergency and he doesn't need to go anymore. I don't know. So I get cruise control back on, get up to 75. Doing the same thing again. He does the same thing. Forward, back, weaving in between cars, getting next to me, whatever. I don't know what he's doing at this point. So I'm like, okay, crazy. And so then he guns the engine up to 90, gets in front of two cars, comes back behind me, and pulls me over. I'm like, okay. So this guy was a rookie, obviously. If he wasn't a rookie, he wouldn't have acted this way. He was completely unprofessional. He didn't let me talk. He was just being a complete dick. And I get it. It's 10 o'clock at night. You want to go home, but you don't have to be a dick about it. That's one thing that Florida Highway Patrol has a big tendency to be, is they're dicks. They're not nice. They don't give you courtesy. And it's not right. It's not fair. Not many people have the ability to speak out about it. So he pulls me over, and I pull over to the side of the road. And mind you, I'm driving a Kia Soul. The max I think goes like 100 miles an hour. So this part gets interesting. So mind you, I have my cruise control on because I'm driving from Orlando to Tampa. There's no way I'm not going to drive with cruise control on because my foot would hurt. So, whatever. He pulls me over. He comes up to my window. Of course, the first thing I did was I put my car in park, turned off my car, put my keys on the dashboard, and then hit the little side blinkers to let people know I pulled over. So he comes up to me, knocks on my window, motions, roll it down. So I point to my keys, and he says, yeah, go ahead and grab them. So I grab it, turn the car into accessory, roll in the window, and then turn the car back off, put the keys back on the dashboard. So he looks at me, and he's like, all right, license, register, all right, hey, how you doing tonight? I pulled you over. And I said, no. I said, I really don't, officer. He said, all right, well, I pulled you over for pace matching. Mind you, I asked a bunch of people after this if they've ever heard of pace matching, and no one ever heard of it. So, just tells you what kind of lies he makes, because he didn't even give me a ticket for pace matching. He gave me a ticket for speeding. Mind you, he's telling me I'm speeding 90 because he was speeding 90 as he went past me. But heaven forbid, the moment he passed me, I happened to go at the exact same speed. Anyway, so it's whatever, So he's asking me, he's like, talking to me. He's like, all right, well, where are you going this time of night? Because, I look pretty young. I'm like, yeah, I said I'm heading up to Tampa. I said I have my military insurance processing for the Army tomorrow. Okay, cool, no problem. Let me see your license registration, please. I'm like, you just asked me where I'm going. I'm trying to explain it to you, and then you cutting me off. Okay, so it was completely unprofessional. It wasn't needed. If you ask me where I'm going, you better let me finish. I mean, it's pretty common sense. Whatever. Sorry, my ice cream had a bubble. So he's like checking my license over, make sure it's real, because it is real. He's like, all right. He's like, do you have insurance for this vehicle? I said, well, no, sir, I don't. I said, we just got new insurance, which was the truth. We had just gotten from Geico to Progressive and hadn't gotten the cards in. So he's like, okay, well, you're supposed to have an insurance card. I said, I know, sir. I said, but we just got brand new insurance this week. I said, there's no way the cards come in yet. Okay, well, Florida law. I'm like, listen, sir. I said, I don't have insurance on me. I can get you the insurance. I can give you proof of insurance. But because we just got brand new insurance from Progressive, we don't have the cards. I can give you the old card if you want to see a policy of some sort, but it's not the policy. He's like, all right, whatever. So he takes my license and my registration and goes back to his car. And I'm sitting here, and about a minute and a half, 2 minutes goes by, and I'm like, okay, so I'm getting a ticket, because Florida Highway Patrol, as I stated previously, are complete dicks. They don't care. They have no acceptance for anything. Whatever, So, he comes up to me, and so he hands me my license, hands me registration. I put them back in the glove box and in my wallet, and then he hands me a ticket for $248 for speeding 90 and a 70, apparently. Even though I didn't speed, he was speeding 90 and 70, let off the gas, hit the brake, checked the speedometer. He was going 90 as he went next to me. But, whatever, dirty tricks are dirty tricks. He's a rookie cop. He's going to get his tickets. He's got to get his quota, right? He's going to pick on a kid who can't defend himself. And, of course, if I had known at the time, I would have told him, sir, you were not I said, even if you are pace clocking me, you cannot do it from the front, because this is a little piece of advice from Florida state statutes. For an officer to pace match you, they have, in Florida, for any officer to pace match you, they have to be either directly beside you, or they have to be directly behind you. They can't be in front of you, they can't be diagonally in front of you, they can't be like this. They have to be directly next to you for 1 mile, or directly behind you for 1 mile. They can't be going like this for 1 mile and count that, but no, it's not pace clocking. Pace clocking does not occur when they're in front of you, which is where he was. It only occurs when they're directly behind you for 1 mile, and they're directly beside you for 1 mile. Once that happens, that is a legal pace clocking maneuver in Florida. He did not do this. Of course, I didn't know this at the time, but I know it now, so I can give other people advice. So the time comes, he says, okay. He said, hey, by the way, next time when I flash you, that means slow down, stay slowed down. I said, how was I supposed to know what that meant? I said, as far as I knew, when you turn on your lights, you're about to rocket away because you had an emergency. Are you an officer? Do you know what these lights mean? Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, it's like, you're kidding me, dude. First you get onto me for interpreting what your lights mean, and then you expect me to know what your lights mean. I've had cops go by before after I let them over, and they flash the light at me to let me know thank you. How am I supposed to know what your lights mean? Generally, your lights mean thank you, or they're about to rocket off to an emergency. Because Florida Highway Patrol is every person who's in charge of all accidents on Florida highways. That includes interstates and city highways. So as far as I know, he's about to rocket off and go to an emergency. So, he just gives me a bunch of lip and backsass about it, and I don't understand what his problem was. And I'm gonna go on and I'm gonna find his badge number, of course, and I'm gonna complain about it, because I'm not one to complain. I've had people cut me off, I've had rude service, I get it, it's not fun sometimes. Sometimes you have a bad day. But you don't have to be a dick about it. Alright, you're a cop. Your job isn't fun. It's not meant to be fun. If it was meant to be fun, anyone would do it. You're meant to enforce the laws, and it doesn't mean to be kind, like, oh, how's your day going? No, but you have to be at least tolerable. You don't have to be a dick about it and say, do you know what this means? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, I'm 18. How am I supposed to know what you're talking about? It was definitely not a good situation. It definitely does not bode well. So, anyway, I had to take the ticket. So, he goes back to his car, and I get on, I drive off to Tampa, and I'm going in. Anyway, I ended up telling them that, and they had to stop my processing that day. Only reason I got to swear in that day was because another recruiting sergeant took my credit card and went to Polk County to go pay off my ticket, which hadn't even processed yet. So if I hadn't opened my mouth and let them know, they wouldn't know. Which is a piece of advice. If you're on your way to MEPS and you get a ticket, don't say a word about it. That ticket will not go into the system for over 3 days. Which means by the time you get back from MEPS, you'll be fine. You'll be able to tell your recruiter, who'll like, okay, no problem. You'll put it in the system, and then that'll be good. Of course, I ended up getting it taken care of. I paid it off and took the basic driver improvement course, got the points off my license, and didn't get my insurance rate raised. That's what I'm required to do. So it's whatever. Never had a penalty. I ended up emailing Florida Highway Patrol and just asking, hey, is there any way you can tell me how he pace clocked me or how he rated my speed or something like that? And they couldn't answer it, and they couldn't even. They said, oh, it's an impeding criminal offense. We can't step in. Yes, you can. You could have just said, hey, check to see how he filed it. If there was no evidence, then you have to drop the ticket. No point about it. Because the other point was being to go to court. And I'm a high school student at this point. I don't have time to go to court. I'm already missing school for the Army. I can't miss school for court dates. It was just a pain, and it was ridiculous. But anyway, back to the MEPS. So, you come back, you're at MEPS, you're about to ship. They're going to ask you, have you got any more tickets? Have you gotten anything, any update? It's either yes or no. There's no maybe or I don't know. We have one guy talking about how his wife might be pregnant. We don't know if she's pregnant, but he's like, oh, she might be. But nobody knows. So he's going on and talking to my recruiter. He's like, yeah, she took 4 tests, only 1 came back positive and 3 were negative, so I don't know. Dude, unless it's all say positive, it's negative. Simple as that. Just stick with an answer. Say no. Because it's generally the truth is no. Now, unless you do have something you do need to admit it at that point. Because otherwise it's going to come back to bite you in the butt later down in the military. So you've gone through, you've updated them. nothing's good, nothing's wrong, or something is wrong. In the case that something was wrong and you had gotten a ticket or your wife got pregnant or something like that, they would have to stop your processing for that day, update it in your profile, and probably have you come back another day. In that case, you would just repeat the same process over again. Bring your bag for deployment, and that's that. And let's go with now. Okay, you went through and there was something to do. You're all caught up. Your profile is still active and still up to date. So at this point, you would go to your liaison, let them know, and they would begin the swearing-in ceremonies. In the Army, you have two swearing-in ceremonies. You have the swearing-in of the inactive Army Reserve when you first get to MEPS and you sign your contract. You should sign in and you swear in as an inactive Army Reservist. This means you are considered military, and that also means you have to follow by the Military Code of Justice and the Code of Conduct, which means there's a lot of things you can't do that you could do when you were a civilian. But at this point, you'll swear in. If you're active duty, you'll swear in for active duty, and if you're still a reservist, then you won't swear in again. Well, you'll swear in, but you'll swear into active reserves. Either way, you'll swear in again. And at that point, your family can be there to take pictures and all that stuff in the ceremony room. And again, you'll go through the United States Military Code of Justice and all the UCMJ handbooks and the policies and what it means to desert the Army and what happens, and etc. You'll go through all these. They have a little presentation to give you. Okay, can't go too deep into it, but you get the general idea. And so finally, you ship out. At that point, after you have all your stuff done, you will get on a shuttle, and wherever you are, you'll go to the nearest international airport. So for me, tomorrow, after I complete my swearing ceremony and re-sign my contract to verify that I do want to continue on with the way it is, I'll go to Tampa International and fly from Tampa to St. Louis, because I'm going to Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. There are 4 basic training locations in the United States. You have Fort Benning, Georgia, Fort Sill, Oklahoma, Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, and I think it's Fort Jackson, South Carolina, I believe, are all 4. And those are only for basic training, of course. And then, of course, there's AIT afterwards, where you would go to get a job specialization. So for me, my job is 88 Mike, which is motor transport operations, which means after I'm done with basic training in 10 weeks, I will stay in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, and I will spend 6 more weeks to get additional training for my job. The original job I chose was 91 Mike, which was a Bradley Fighting System mechanic, and that was basic at Fort Benning and AIT at Fort Benning. The time length of your training depends on your job. So my job length is training-wise is only 6 weeks, a month and a half. As for my mechanic job training was 22 weeks because there was a lot more to learn. Don't expect to go home after basic. This is a question, some people say it and some people won't. 9 times out of 10, you won't get to go home after basic. Your family will come in for family day, they'll see you, they'll take you off base, you'll go have dinner. But you won't get to actually, unfortunately, you probably won't be able to go home after basic. The only time this probably is ever a thing is where, let's say, you're training in Fort Jackson, South Carolina, and your training's in Fort Houston, Texas. Then you would fly to Houston International, and then if your family's there, you might get to stop in and see them for a few hours, or for a weekend if there's like a holiday, like a government holiday, you might get to see them for a day or 2. It's a very rare occurrence, so don't expect to go home after basic. After you're done with AIT, then you will go off to your duty station. Be aware that it is. Of course, you get to select. You get to choose which 3 top places you want to be. And then from there, if there's any needs or availability at that base, you could receive that base, or you might be deployed elsewhere. From there, you do your job. It's that simple. Joining the military actually can take 2 weeks, actually. You got a guy who came in after me. Of course, I was a high school student, so I had to finish high school. And he was gone in 3 weeks, I think. He came in on a Monday, shipped to MEPS on that Thursday, went back the next week, and was gone in 3 weeks. He was gone so quickly, and Sometimes the Army has bonuses for things like that. As for me, I got a $9,500 cash bonus, and I did get it in my contract, which means that they are required to give it to me. Maybe not all at once. I usually they give it to you like half up front after AIT, and then they split the rest of it over the couple of years, or they'll split over the couple of years. It depends. But you will receive all 9,500. Of course, they won't get you all at once, but you'll receive all your bonus. It's just a lot of paperwork. So, I mean, I think I covered everything. You know, how to go to, what will happen when you get to your hotel, what will happen at MEPS, the ways everything can go, waivers. Oh, I need to go over waivers. At MEPS, if you have a thing, anything, so let's say you have asthma or you've had a surgery or something like that, they might require you to come back another time for a medical waiver. As for me, I had to come back for a medical waiver for my glasses. My vision is correctable in 2020, but because my vision is so bad, it's beyond the limit of non-waiver. So I had to leave MEPS, go home. My recruitment office pushed MEPS pretty quickly, actually, and got my waiver within a week, I think it was, of me getting back. From there, I went back to MEPS, went and got my eyes checked by an ophthalmologist, and the rest is history. I went home, came back one final week. That was the week I got the ticket, and that was it. The rest is history. I signed my contract. I'm now on my way to ship out to basic training tomorrow. So it's a long process. It's not one to take lightly. People consider this, you know, as a way for money or something like that. It's not. No, you don't do these things with the money. Yeah, if you're single and you're really young and you don't have any dependents, it is a good source of income. You know, you only make $20,000 a year, but when you think about that, $20,000 a year, but your housing, your medical, your food, pretty much everything you need except for general expenses of your own accord are paid for. You don't have to worry about losing any money. I mean, as an E1 in the Army, you get $1,800 each month. Before taxes, of course. Where other can you find a job that teaches you how to do a trade skill and gives you $1,800 a month? Not many places anymore. Not to mention they'll pay for your education. So this sounds a little bit like a, hey, go join the military type thing. That's not my point in it. It's not for everybody. For me, it was a no-brainer. But anyway, trying to think if I missed anything else. You guys went over waivers. I went over what happened if you don't tell them. Whatever what happens on ship day. Other than that, I don't think there's anything I need to go over. I mean, everything else you can basically Google. You know, reception battalion. You go in, you sit for 4 days. You get medical shots. You get exams. You get your uniforms, etc. Y'all already know about basic training. If you're watching this, you're probably heading off or considering the military, so you probably watch the videos on basic training. You know, recruits getting off, getting yelled at. You got your drill sergeants. Don't think there's anything else left to cover. So this will probably be the Freedom Riders. I'll probably be signing out for a while, for at least 10 weeks. Other than that, you might get occasional videos afterwards. So this is Freedom Riders. This is Gabe from Freedom Riders. This is Gabe. And I'm signing off for the last time in a while, guys. Thanks for being here, you know, be it for my voice acting or be it for anything else. Thanks for always being here to watch me, and, you know, nobody ever really knew what I looked like until now. But thanks for always being here and being supportive of me and everything I've done. I'll see you guys on the other side.